Good morning. Happy Saturday, everybody.
Thank you for joining us. We are Kelly Childs and Erinn Weatherbie, if you guys don't know who we are by now. Tuning in, mom and daughter team, and just here to do some live Q&As. We thought it was a great way to give back, maybe on a
Nice Saturday morning. Yes, and we're also live
Hi,
on
Instagrammers.
Instagram, Kelly and Erinn, as well as Facebook on Kelly and Erinn as well, too. So we'll just let you guys slowly start joining the conversation. Mom made a really delicious smoothie this morning, so
I
get to enjoy this.
So it's a chocolate blueberry smoothie, and
Yum.
I also put charcoal in it.
Ooh, it's delicious.
Neat, right?
I obviously haven't tried it yet,
Yeah.
you can tell, but it looks really, really good. We'll try
Very
it.
neat.
Cool. How's your morning been?
It's been really crazy busy. I know you
Yes.
too. It's been really crazy busy,
Mm-hmm.
but it's so I don't know. I've really loved doing these kind of live things with you guys. It's what I live for. Truly
It's fun.
live for.
Exactly.
And so I've just we've been asking people questions and stuff too, and we've been amassing them actually for the last couple of weeks as well too, because what we find is that we get asked a lot of stuff. And so
And it varies too. Like it
totally
varies
varies.
in different areas, from like lifestyle to business to eating a
Yeah.
plant-based diet to travel to makeup to like anything and everything. So we thought it would be fun for you guys to actually kind of hear some of our responses and hear some of the questions too, because you probably have a couple of these questions too, and we just thought it would be fun just to keep on building this awesome community. So please feel free to add. Michael just said love you too. You're very, very sweet. We thought it would be fun to do a cute Q&A this morning, and just kind of chat about all of the things. So
what do you want to talk about first?
we can talk about a couple questions that we've already kind of like gotten asked just
Right.
over the past couple weeks. We get quite a few questions through like Instagram and Facebook, and also via email as well too, quite regularly and in person. So we kind of wrote down some of like the main ones that we thought would be beneficial for you guys to learn and to just hear about.
We I guess it was about 3 weeks ago. I had this lovely girl. Her name's Bianca, and she has a family that's really kind of, I'm going to say, riddled with cancer. So when it's hanging out so many generations, it's got to be a little unnerving. And she's a young girl, but she wants to bring forward the gift of health through her family. And because I had spoken before about Robin O'Brien, who she's a real wellness warrior, and she wrote the book called The Unhealthy Truth. And I talked about it, and I've read the book. It's phenomenal, actually, with what Robin has done for the planet. And she brought such an awareness of what's been done to our food, and because her children, 4 of them, the youngest one in particular, is completely riddled with allergies. So what's been done to our food and blah blah blah. So these, as we're seeing too in our generations now too, that there's so many kids that are affected with peanut allergies and dairy allergies and gluten allergies and egg allergies, and it's just so commonplace now. So there has been something done to our food system, and our food isn't really real anymore on so many levels. So that's why Erinn and I, we live our life in such a non-processed way. But Robin wrote this book. It's called The Unhealthy Truth, and so it's kind of hard to get my hands on it, actually.
Was it?
Yes, it was really really
that's
hard.
weird.
So I had to get it on Amazon, but it took about 3 weeks to come in. So what I've done is I bought a copy for Bianca because she wanted a copy. So that's kind of like what we do. So she's going to be told that today. If she might be watching right now.
Maybe she could be watching.
But this is
about
a
her book.
great book, The Unhealthy Truth.
Yeah, I know that you've done a whole bunch of reading and kind of all that great stuff. Just about like kind of where our food's coming from, and just how different it is now versus even 50 years ago, even 10 years ago. I feel like it's changed quite a lot. And
Yeah.
For us personally, we've noticed a huge difference just eating very, very clean. So just fresh, healthy fruits, vegetables, non-GMO, lots and lots of just clean organic ingredients.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So The Unhealthy Truth is one mother's shocking investigation into the dangers of America's food supply and what every family can do to protect itself. So it's one of those must reads.
Yeah, so check it out.
Yeah, really cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. So another question. So someone, we're just gonna kind of go back and forth, just probably from some different topics to some other topics. So Sarah just asked us on Facebook, how did you get the media involved in your business?
Ooh,
that's a good question.
How did we get the media involved in our business?
So yes, go.
So well, I mean, we were kind of really social media savvy. We worked really hard in our social media, and we worked really hard on branding ourselves. And it was kind of like we always said to ourselves, we go big or we go home. That was our line, right? Yeah. And we really, I mean, it takes a lot of work, but we hired a PR company as well too, and they did a lot of solicitation for us. We found too that when we wrote the book, obviously we got tons of media just attached to the cookbook. But it's just saying that even prior to that, we got on TV quite a few times, but it was just us just pounding the pavement, knocking on the doors, and just talking about our real story of who we are, and just always promoting your story, just being that authentic mom and daughter team, and people were really very intrigued with what we had to offer. So it was kind of more of a compelling story. What you have to do is kind of just create sort of that compelling voice, a compelling story that people grab to, and you know, TV will put you on for 3 or 4 minutes.
Exactly.
No problem. That's where it sort of starts from there.
And then also too building that presence, right? So building, you know, that authentic business like we have hoped to have done for the past 7 years, and then people start to recognize that, right? And it's not like we sought out and we were like, oh, let's go get on TV, let's go and do this, let's go do this.
Right.
It was like it just kind of flowed, it just kind of happened naturally as a result. So it wasn't something that was our goal. It's just as you flow and as the business grows, these kinds of opportunities kind of come to fruition.
Yeah, it's
and
amazing.
We're very, very grateful for it. So yeah, that's kind of how, I guess.
Yeah.
if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's kind of like, you know, we love what we do, right? And so when I think that shows, and then again the cameras love that when you're just like, it knows when you're being your real self.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
And so that's what we did. We just and when we got to a certain point, then we thought, okay, well, we can actually hire out some PR now too. And we hired that PR company, and so they did some door knocking for us, and that was kind of about it.
The rest is history.
Yeah.
but it is like, it's an ongoing thing. You know what I mean? It's not like, you know, when you get on TV or whatever, it just, okay, all of a sudden it stops. No, you're constantly moving forward. You're constantly growing and evolving and changing as a result. So
totally.
Another question we get asked a lot, and I got asked it on my own personal Instagram the other day, was because being vegan, a lot of the times people ask, we're just going to plug Kelly's phone in right now. Hold on 1 second. Mom, you probably want to move it to the other side.
There we go.
There you go. Probably not the best idea on that side. Okay, so where you get your B12 from. So why don't you just get up for a second, Mom?
I will.
You can grab
you
that
guys
and
keep
bring it over
talking
there. So being vegan, a lot of the times people ask, where do you get your B12 from? Where do you get your protein from? Because a lot of the times B12 only comes from animal products. So for us, we get a lot of our B12 from nutritional yeast, and nutritional yeast is not a yeast. It is actually grown off of the molasses plant, and it is something that, are you struggling there?
I am struggling because it's not going to even plug in on this side either.
Oh my God, you're so funny. You're hilarious. So B12, we get it from nutritional yeast. That is something that we have tried from, oh my gosh, this is like technical difficulties with Kelly. I think your phone's going to be okay.
Okay.
It'll be fine right now. It's okay. We'll deal with it in a bit. So yeah, nutritional yeast, and also where else do we get our B12 from? I was just going to say something.
Basically nutritional yeast.
Yeah, right. Because a lot of the times, it does come from animal products. So that's just something, just a little.
I mean, I supplement, so I do. I take B12 supplements.
Yeah.
The real deal.
But it's not like you have to take them every single day.
No, it's not really a big deal at all.
Yeah, it's not. Exactly. Yeah. So, cool. Okay, go ahead.
Sorry, I just got distracted with the plug and everything. So, back to fun stuff, guys. All right. So, I had this question from Annie a little while back, and she wanted to know, and it was actually really kind of cool because it is something that's very prevalent. Like my generation being in my 50s, then as a business owner, most of our staff are more of the millennials and the generation Xers, right? And these generations have been raised so differently than what I ever experienced, growing up. 'Cause I didn't have a cell phone. There was social media. Was not social media at all. Yeah. I had a black and white television even as a little girl. Like, technology has grown so quickly. And so what's happened now, I think, is there's this almost a generation disconnect, because as my age, and we tend to be the age of the people that do the employing now, how do we deal with these generation Xers and some millennials that act a little entitled? So that's what has been perceived by this generation, and not necessarily me, but this older generation, and they're very hard to please. They're very hard to please because they want that instant gratification of things that are happening all the time. And so what was funny is that for me it was a great question, and Erinn can speak to it probably too, because she is a little bit older, but still of that, to be able to look and see the bridge between social media, cell phone usage, text messaging, and all that stuff, and then the world of not having it, because when you got a cell phone for the first time. Right?
Well, I mean, when I was 16, Facebook came out. It wasn't like I was born with Facebook, right? It just came out.
All that stuff,
Exactly. So it wasn't something that I was brought up with. It was something that I kind of grew into. But I think that kids nowadays, it's much different, right? You're constantly on your phone. You're constantly having that instant gratification, like you're saying, right?
Totally.
And I think that a lot of the time kids feel like, they can come in and they want a promotion, they want this, they want that. But I think that a lot of the times, from a business perspective, kids and young people nowadays, they want to run their own business, they want to own their own business, but there has to be like this balance of realizing, it's hard work to actually run and to have your own business, and it's not easy. We don't just play around all day. There's things that happen, right? And I think that some people kind of have like a blurred line with that. They don't necessarily understand all of the effort that goes into it.
Kids are addicted to cell phones. Let's face it, guys. They're addicted to the instant gratification of the likes on Facebook, the interaction on Snapchat, the interactions on Instagram. How many likes did I get? How many comments did I get? Were they good? Yeah. And when people are being mean to you, then you actually really own that meanness. There's a lot of that social play of bullying, but they are looking for that instant gratification. So when they're not getting it within a job, then they actually quickly go to another job. Yeah. And that's where Erinn and I have tried really hard to create a place and space that we're trying to instill some skills and long-term skills into the people that work with us, that we give back in ways that they're actually going to grow as human beings and individuals, instead of just superficially keeping them just with an hourly paycheck, right? Because I think it's so much more than that. So I don't see this generation as being entitled as much as I see them really being ripped off in what I got to experience growing up, which was real relationships and developing real relationships and real phone calls and real social interaction with people, and going to my friend's house and riding my bike or driving my car to meet people, having dinner, no cell phone sitting on the dinner table, no interruptions.
Right. And you're present.
And we were fully present. So this generation has been ripped off. I actually compassionately feel so bad for this group of people that are living their life.
Hold this for 1 sec. I'm just going to do your thing. So you keep talking.
Okay. Well, we're going to switch it around.
I'm going to say bye to Instagram Live for 1 second.
Bye. That they're living their life, sadly, with really lacking in those kind of social skills. So we see that as a real detriment to, for them anyways too, to even be employed, right, in any sort of way, to be employed in some sort of long-term capacity.
Sorry guys, we're just doing some technical difficulties
because the phone's going to die.
The phone's going to die. Oh no. Okay, so we're going to do that.
I said that. I said the phone was going to die.
Okay. Here you go. Okay, you can keep talking. I'm just gonna do this. There we go. Perfect.
Okay, so I have another question for you guys. And I don't know if anyone else is following you so too. Back and forth with gluten. Leah said that. Am I missing anything else? Okay. I had this guy ask me, this was hilarious. This was yesterday. His name is Jacob, and asking me about advice for marriage problems. And what could I give as a number one advice? And actually another person did too, and I don't want to say her name live here, but Erinn knows her very well. I'll tell you afterwards. What was the number one piece of advice I could give to somebody if their marriage was starting to feel like it was rocky and irreparable? And I said, first things first is therapy. I surrender to therapy. I do. I love it. I go to therapy all the time, but I do it for more of a life coaching situation for myself, because I want to evolve to become a better version of me, and we all need counseling, therapy. We all need that independent, neutral person to talk to, and you cannot say that you don't need therapy. So let's just throw that out the window.
Yeah.
You love therapy too. You've done it. And it's nothing to even be ashamed of. Actually, to me, I actually celebrate it and rejoice it that I get to go and I have this neutral person that I get to talk to about myself. I'm going, wow, I'm feeling some suffering with this category in my life, or this area of my life's not feeling great right now. You know, help me out with this. How can I think about something differently? Right? And you get that third person party, that outsider that gets to put that outside spin on it. It makes you feel so fantastic. That is my first line of defense with, I'm going to say marriage or partnership problems, because marriage is a partnership, right? Yeah. And you can apply that to any aspect of your life.
And I think too, sorry if I can just interrupt for 1 second, is I think with any sort of partnership or relationship, I think it's always so important to have that time and that space to yourself too, to actually really, really work on yourself, because there comes a time in a relationship where you can kind of become the other person, and that's not what you want.
It's called codependency.
You want to be your own person, right? And
that can happen even too outside of a marriage.
Oh, absolutely.
Right?
Yeah,
it happens to mothers and daughters.
Yeah, exactly.
It didn't happen to us though.
No.
But
you have to take the time for yourself, right? So for me, it's like I meditate once, mandatory, twice, sometimes when I really, really want to, every single day. Like, it is just, I don't skip on it, and that is just my time that I just decompress, and I'm actually able to just be with myself.
And it gives you yourself back.
Yes.
Right? Because you've spread yourself thin to so many other people through the day. Yeah. And then to be a better version of yourself now for personal partnership time, say with Michael, it helps to balance. I know Ken, when Ken meditates though, Ken goes down for like what, hour and a half, something like
that. I don't know. I don't live with Ken, but maybe.
Well, you do know.
Yeah. Yeah.
I also too, another advice for marriage problems is, someone told me this, and about a year ago, and it was really brilliant for me to think about it this way. It was Tony Robbins, and his word of advice was to visualize what it was like to seeing that person for the very first time. So you're married to this person, right? And you're going through rocky times. Maybe you've been married for past that 2-year mark. The honeymoon's over, right? And you're starting to look at them, and you're starting to resent them, or you're starting to not like them because you don't like the way they're chewing their food, or they're not putting the lid on the toothpaste, or they whatever, right? They're doing stupid little things, and sometimes too they'd be doing big stupid things too. Yeah. But when you look at them for the very first time, if you look at them, okay, so you've been married for a certain amount of years, but you start to look at them like you are seeing them for the very first time. And remember that moment in time when you saw them for the very first time. And I did that. I went back into time of when because Ken and I have had our definite fair share of problems, maybe more so fair share of problems. And I started to do that. I started to go back, and it took months to get back grounded and visualize him for the very first time, when I saw him for the very first time.
Yeah.
And it was at the Black Dog, and when he approached me, and I, you get those butterflies when you see a person that you're really attracted to or whatever, and it's amazing how powerful your mind is to take you back to that moment in time.
Yes, it's so true.
You actually live it. You actually live it. As much as you want to live horror stories and complain about people all the time, because that's all you're doing is repeating a stupid story, you can also visualize euphoria. You can visualize love. You can visualize that sense of falling in love for the very first time, and you get transported to that moment in time, and it changes a lot of stuff. For me, it started breeding compassion. So when we had problems or whatever, I actually started to laugh at it more. Instead of owning it and going, you jerk, don't talk to me that way or whatever, I actually started to giggle and I started to laugh because I was looking at him as this little boy with I was compassionate for him, had empathy for what he was telling himself. Anyway, before you know it, we started laughing. And the relationship has daily gotten so much better because we're not taking any of the shit seriously anymore.
Well, life is too short to be taken seriously.
Right. So it's the good shit.
Yes.
But the bad shit.
No, like it's not even...
We're not taken serious anymore.
It's not even worth it at all.
It's not.
At all. But that's good. I like that. Cool.
Yes.
If anybody has any more questions, just for those of you guys just tuning in, we are doing a Q&A with Kelly and Erinn. So we have a bunch of questions that we've already kind of selected that we've had over the past week or so. But if you have any more questions, please feel free to comment in the comments below. I
had one given to me last night on Instagram. And this woman her name is Stephanie, and suffering from adult acne. So here we are going from relationships to health to skin to everything. So this was really cool because I was very fortunate growing up that I didn't get acne. My sister, however, did not acne, but just, man, she got those really like big pimple things, right? And I felt so bad for her, and I remember she would put rubbing alcohol on her face, and she still goes through it, now later in life, she's now, what is she, 52? And so I think she's got hormonal stuff going on, which is very common for women to start getting different kind of skin conditions based on hormonal reactions. And so adult acne is, first of all, I said to Stephanie, I said, are you doing gluten and are you doing dairy? And she said, no. So she's already got rid of that stuff 8 months ago. And I said, not even traces of it, right? Like not even a little bit of creamer in your coffee, because that is dairy. And so that's going to trigger it. Yeah. So then I started doing some research for her. And again, I'm not a nutritionist or anything like that whatsoever, but I just love being on the cutting edge of health. So I found this commonality in the stuff that I was researching. And what is a big trigger for acne is fructose. Oh. Yes. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Huh. Yeah. So what I had actually wrote this. So, but for her, and she, like I said, she was 8 months gluten-free vegan. So she's done no dairy, no gluten for 8 months. Yeah. So this now she was going to try, and she's going to let me know how it goes. Yeah. So she's eliminating her grains, eliminating sugars, in particular fructose, cereal, potatoes, corn, white rice, pasta, processed foods. Of course, we don't want to do processed foods anyways. And it's one of the most important adult steps for adult acne. That's so interesting. Yes. And fruit contains a fair amount of fructose, so please eat your fruit sparingly, like maybe 1 serving a day. And the fruit that I would choose, and I actually searched this out too for you guys, is the best fruits to take in that have the lowest amount of fructose. And really, we should be doing this anyways, because I like not having a lot of fructose in my diet. Tomatoes and avocados, because they are actually fruit, are good to take because they're very low in fructose. Lemons and limes, and which is great because we do lemon water really every morning when I wake up, and I think it's very alkalizing. Absolutely, put half of a lemon, squeeze a lemon into my water, and I drink that. Cantaloupe, so that's cool. Raspberries, blackberries, and strawberries, and all the berries. Yeah, all the berries are good, but not the blueberries. Not the blueberries. Blueberries are very high in fructose. That would make sense because they're much sweeter. Right, and we put them in our smoothie. Yeah, that's okay. Clementine oranges, kiwi fruit, and grapefruit. Clementines, they're so sweet though. Yeah. but they're low in fructose.
Wow, that's
So
interesting.
I found that really, really interesting. And so the simple carbs are the ones that we want to avoid, right, guys? So, and they just instantly convert into sugar into your body. So,
Yeah.
and that's milk sugar and the fructose, sucrose, and all that crap. It's so bad for you.
Yeah.
So we want to do a complex carbs, and so that would be more of like a sweet potato is actually good to have, no problem. And anything white. So the white potato is no good. White rice is no good. So you can do brown rice, but do sweet potatoes. Do things that are very heavy in fiber.
Yeah.
Those are the carbs that you want to take in. So get rid of all the other grains.
Yes. 100%.
And let me know how your acne goes.
And on another sort of health note, I'm just going to read, we have time for like 2 more questions. So we're going to read one, so from Leah, one of our amazing regular customers from forever ago.
Hi,
Leah says that she's been back and forth with gluten. She has a slight bit of IBS. Any thoughts maybe on cutting out gluten that might help? How long were you gluten-free before feeling the benefits / difference? So for us, 100% cut out the gluten and you will feel a difference. 100%. That's literally the plain and simple answer. For me, I noticed a huge difference. Even now, if I have like sourdough bread or something, it doesn't affect me quite as much because it's so
fermented.
Correct. Yeah, exactly.
I do that too.
Yeah, but like for me, like doing any sort of wheat, I feel it. So that's why I try just to steer clear of any sort of wheat products and any sort of gluten, because yes, 100%, that is definitely affecting any sort of IBS symptoms. For sure. So
100%.
try it for like a week or 2 and then see how you feel. For sure.
You know what?
But you can try like sourdough bread and those kind of fermented breads.
But what we just talked about too with the adult acne,
Yeah.
because that's inflammation in your body.
And autoimmune.
And I know that I can feel really bloated and stuff too if I've taken in like too much sugar and grains.
It's true.
And I believe that IBS and Crohn's, it's all related.
Yeah.
First off, you got to take a really good probiotic.
Yes.
Right? So you got to put the good bacteria into your gut. And because you know what, we've all gone through these antibiotics and stuff, and I just don't do them anymore. But we've inundatedly pounded the crap out of our body. So we have to bring that balance back. So IBS is totally related to an imbalance, as is Crohn's disease and any of those kind of digestive issues. And without good digestion, you know that we don't really have a good quality of life, because this is the whole powerhouse. This is basically the whole, the brain of your body,
Exactly.
the whole wellness center of your body, and this is where it all takes place. And so when you have inflammation there, there's no way that you're digesting your food properly.
Yes.
You're not bringing your nutrition properly into your system.
Yeah.
It just can't happen. It can't metabolize that way. So it's so important to heal and bring in a lot of great, like, healthy green vegetables that, full of collagen. The only grain that I would do as a seed is quinoa. I would just really eliminate any kind of grain. I would eliminate all rice.
Yeah.
I would just eliminate anything that's white.
Yes. 100%.
And no sugar.
Yeah.
No sugar. No sugar. Okay? So
and then see how you feel. See how you feel over the next couple of weeks, and then let us know on our next Q&A. Yes, for sure. Anything else on that note? Because I have one more question.
Okay. I think that I was you can go still.
So we have a question from Christina. So she says, I'm having issues with work-life balance. She's a single mom with 2 teenage girls who are very active and competitive volleyball players. How do you both do it? Oh boy, that is the $1 million question, isn't it?
Yeah, and you know what? I believe, and then
I'm going to talk too. Yep, you go. You go
want to
first.
talk first?
Mom just wants to answer all of the questions today. Okay, so
you go first.
I was thinking about it the other day.
She's such a brat.
I was thinking about it the other day, and it's interesting, and it's different too when you're doing something for yourself, right? So for me, I've learned over the years that it's not about the work-life balance so much as it is really having that beautiful quality time with those people that you love, and then fitting like the work into it, right? So really doing the things that you love, and then your work kind of flows into it. That's with us because we're so very, very, very fortunate to have Kelly's Bake Shop, that we're able to be there and then not be there, but people also don't see all of the things that happen behind the scenes,
But
right?
we were there
A lot.
I mean, so
Yes.
you know, we actually slept there.
Yes.
For the first couple months when it opened.
Yes.
And even that, I lived about a block away.
Yes, exactly.
And that's how exhausting it was,
Yeah.
because we were there long hours. So we totally relate and have total compassion and understand the struggle with that balance.
And
I understand that.
And I think that with like a work-life balance, I think you just have to take the time for yourself. You just have to, because if you don't take that time for yourself, no one else is going to give it to you, right? You have to create that slack.
Right.
Mom and I read this really, really great blog post by one of our favorite guys, Seth Godin, and it was it Seth Godin?
No, it was Tim.
It was Tim Ferriss, sorry. And it was all about creating slack, because no one else is going to give it to you. You actually have to take that time, and you can know, okay, so this is my time to like breathe and to just say, okay, I'm going to sit down with a glass of wine and a book and turn my phone off and just chill out here for half an hour. Right?
I call it pushing the pause button.
Yes.
Right. And sometimes for a mom too, with kids and competitive stuff, and again, we know how demanding kids can be,
100%.
because you're dealing with that generation that we were talking about earlier, which is their instant gratification they want, and they want mommy now, right? So this is for your time now to say, okay, it's not mommy now, it's mommy now for me, right?
Yeah,
you're going to take it yourself, and be it if you pause yourself and you create that slack. I just love that, right?
I know, it's so good. We're going to put it into the next book.
I know there's some moms that actually lock themselves into their bathroom. They do. And they do it because they don't have anywhere else to have that space, and they just say, hey, mom's having a timeout right now.
Yes.
And they need that break.
Yes.
And so be it if it is like what Erinn said earlier too, about meditation, right?
Yes.
And if you do that 5 minutes just for yourself, or put on one of those great YouTube videos that, you know, I will post a ton on this, right? On this post afterwards, from Tony Robbins that we absolutely love, Seth Godin that we absolutely love, Tim Ferriss we love, Robin O'Brien, Simon Sinek, Glennon Doyle. Like there's Oprah has so many on Super Soul Sundays, and they're like amazing videos, and also then we do audio. So actually, if I audiobooks. I'm sorry, I'm going to go off on a weird tangent here right now. I'm in the middle of a book right now that I can't recommend enough. So I just finished the first one. It's called The Surrender Experiment by Michael Singer, better known as Mickey Singer. And I'm now on his second book, which is actually the first book he wrote. So I'm just reading them in opposite orders. But it's called The Untethered Soul. And you guys have to read it. Do it on audio. That's what I do. And when I'm driving my car, you know, I've been going in Toronto lately to see my mom and help her move into her new condo and stuff like that. So I've been having, like, I actually love driving into Toronto when I know I've got an hour and a half, of course, sitting in traffic, that I've got an hour and a half, though, that I get to do something for me.
Yeah.
So I actually look forward to sitting in a traffic jam because I get to do something for me. Because it's the only place that I can dial everybody out.
Yeah.
I shut the ringer off my phone. I'm just doing my audio.
Can't check your emails. At least you shouldn't be.
She
checking
can't
your
bug
emails.
me. Nobody can bug me.
Yeah.
Work can't bug me. Ken can't bug me. No one can bug me. And I get that time to myself. And I love it. I love it. I can't recommend audiobooks enough.
Yes, I completely agree with you.
And so this book called The Untethered Soul is just about surrendering into that moment and just surrendering to what is all around you, and just living your life fully untethered, like you're not attached to anything.
Yes.
And it stops the suffering, and it just allows you to be in that present moment,
Yes.
and with no judgment, like no judgment of anything that you're seeing. It just is.
Yes.
You know? The day is just existing.
Yes.
Sure, it's sunny out and warm, or it's snowing out and cold or something, but it just is. It's just a day, right? And to stop labeling everything you're seeing. Anyways, it's just a fantastic book. I cannot recommend it enough, that it just slowed me down. It slowed down my thought processes. So the first one, like The Surrender Experiment, I read first.
Yeah.
And it's mind-blowing.
Yeah. Oh, it's so good.
It's
so
Like,
good.
you can't put it down, right?
Yeah.
Because
No,
it's
it's
like
so
turns
good.
the next corner, going,
Yeah.
oh my God, this really happened to this guy?
It's so good.
And he just kept surrendering and surrendering, and how all this beautiful abundance kept coming to him when he stopped going for it.
Yes.
He just let it happen, and he let life unfold.
Yes.
and it's absolutely fantastic. So I hope that, I'm sorry, that lovely lady's name? That was
Christina.
Christina. I hope, Christina, that we've given you some little bit of tidbits and insights, and it's not being selfish to do something for yourself. You're actually going to become a better version of you.
Yes.
And that is the gift that you're going to give your girls, is to be this better version and greater version of yourself. And that's the gift you're going to give your girls. And that's the reason why you're going to take that time out for yourself, right?
Kelly's going to get mad at you if you don't.
Yeah.
So you better. But yeah, no, I
that's
hope
what
that
it is.
answers your question.
We found that balance, and it was like, but it's been very hard. We had to discipline ourselves to actually say this is on purpose, because otherwise we're both going to burn ourselves out, and we're going to be useless.
And even still to this day, we still find ourselves. I mean, the past couple of weeks have been so crazy at the bake shop. Like, we have so much stuff going on, and like, you just have to take that time and say, nope, sorry, I'm not doing any more right now. Right. I'm unavailable for the next half an hour.
And so our deadline is put off for another couple days.
Right.
Whatever.
Oh,
right?
well.
You know, who's going to, get mad at us?
Exactly.
Whatever.
Exactly. It's just that you put this pressure on yourself, right? And I think that's the biggest thing, is just to actually surrender to yourself and just say, it's okay.
Erinn, she whips me every day. Just so you know.
Like, where does that come from?
She is a really, really tough chick to work for, let me tell you.
Yeah, I'm like a total slave driver all the time. Clearly, right? But no, we hope that answered your question, and we hope that we've answered everybody's questions.
For now, anyways.
For now.
Sure,
but we're gonna be doing more and more of these. So any other questions that you do have, please write them in here, and then we're going to save them for another Q&A that we're going to be doing in the future. So please write them down. We'll take note, and then we'll answer them later.
I think we should start doing it like on some nice chick desk, with some books and stuff behind us, and making
what is a chick desk?
It's like a tough chick desk.
A tough chick desk.
Don't say that fast.
I know, it's a tongue twister. Yeah, bad idea.
Kind of like, we're in my goddess office right now with our little wings out here.
Tough chick desk. I'm confused. Anyways, thank you so much. We hope you guys have a lovely Saturday and a beautiful weekend. And we hope that we answered some of your questions. And we're going to do this more often, just to kind of hang out. And we're going to go drink our smoothies now too, because I'm sure it's
charcoal smoothies.
It's a little warm at this point. But
yeah, okay. and thank you so much, guys. Yes. So yes, we do love what we do, and I'm going to put some posts on here too. I'm going to add them on this post of the different videos that we have watched, and I'll make a note too of the couple of books that we mentioned. And if there's anything else that you want some reference material from, just add a comment.
Yes.
Down below, now. Do it now.
Do it.
And let us know what you want, kind of resource you want from us. So
awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye, guys. Have an awesome weekend, and come hang out at the bake shop. We're going to be there hanging out and getting some work done. So we'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.